Welcome back, viewers and subscribers. It's your girl, Star Flames. In this video, we're gonna talk about Tony Buzbee facing another major legal setback after he was issued another stern warning by United States District Judge Ronnie Abrams. So what Judge Abrams is saying is that Anthony Buzbee knows very well that he has not been admitted to practice in the Southern District of New York, but irrespective of the fact that he was aware of this, he filed numerous lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs and then proceeded to file a lawsuit against jayz. After this was brought out on the case against jayz, he still went ahead and filed more lawsuits. So Judge Ronnie Abrams is saying to Tony Buzbee, his actions are very disrespectful to the court, and as such, he needs to submit a letter to the court explaining the reason for his violation and how he plans to rectify it in his next steps. Judge Ronnie Abrams is saying to Tony Buzbee, you know very well that you should have gotten a pro ac vice in order to file the lawsuit, and once it was obtained, you should have gotten another attorney as sponsor so that you could proceed with your cases. And as such, you did not do this, and this is a violation of conduct. So let's get into the new court document. Now, it is saying that Ronnie Abrams, United States District Judge, it has come to the court's attention that Anthony Buzbee, who signed the complaint and several other filings on behalf of plaintiff, and it says sees the docket, has not been admitted to practice in the Southern District of New York. Moreover, although Mr. Buzbee was warned several weeks ago in a parallel case that this conduct violated local civil rule, and it has a rule number, docket number, he failed to bring this issue to the court's attention. No later than March 18th, 2025, Mr. Buzbee shall file a letter explaining why he failed to notify the court about this issue earlier and proposing next steps to rectify it. So ordered. So Tony Buzbee, he did file for admission, but Southern District of New York, they have denied this admission. They said Epstein pending order, which is one of the lawyer, comes as Buzbee faces increased scrutiny in the federal court district where he sued Carter. Buzbee is based in Houston, Texas, and has been licensed to practice in the Lone Star State since 1997. He's been licensed to practice in New York State Court since 2019, but that doesn't cover the federal courts in New York. Buzbee is admitted in the Brooklyn-based Eastern District of New York, but he didn't seek admission to the Southern District of New York until after he filed about 25 lawsuits against Combs, including the amended complaint that named Carter as co-defendant in the lawsuit about the VMA Award show After Party. The Southern District of New York Committee on Grievances denied him admission because of this. The February 13th order from the committee chair, U.S. District Judge Catherine, Polk Fanelia, ordered him to include a copy of the order if he seeks admission again or moves for admission pro ac vice, which is a one-time admission sponsored by an attorney who's already admitted. Without being admitted, Buzbee can't officially appear as a lawyer in the lawsuits and would have to rely on the New York attorney who filed them for him. So the lawyer that had submitted the lawsuits on Buzbee's behalf is Antigone Curis. Now they're saying Carter's lawyer, Alex Pirro, noted Buzbee's lack of admission for sanction in the Jane Doe lawsuits. So basically, Tony Buzbee is going to be in serious trouble and he's going to face sanctions because the judge is saying you need to submit a letter to the court, explaining your action irrespective of knowingly that you are not admitted to practice in this court. You still went ahead and you filed lawsuits. And even after this was brought up in the VMA's after party lawsuit against Jay-Z, you still went ahead and you filed them. So he's gonna have to explain himself to the grievance committee and how he plans on remedying the situation, which means that he will be fined, plus he will be faced with sanctions. I'm going to keep you guys up to date as to what the final verdict on Tony Buzbee. But I told you guys that it would have happened. Sadly, I didn't want this to happen to him, but sadly, it's going to happen to him. Now, not only will he be fined and sanctioned, he will no longer be able to represent these accusers. Therefore, this means Auntie Gioni, if I have this lawyer's name correct, the lawyer who submitted the lawsuit on his behalf, it means that if this lawyer wishes to do Buzbee a favor by taking over the cases, he can do so. But if not, the cases will be tossed out of court. And of course, naturally, these accusers can always refile with other attorneys because they're not going to admit him. That's basically what the judge is saying. The judge is saying, we're not going to admit you. The pro ac vice, it has been denied because you have violated code of conduct. And not only did you just violate code of conduct, you did so knowingly, you did so consciously, and that is disrespectful to the court. You know the procedures, you know what to do, you partially did it, so explain yourself to the court as to why you did not complete what was needed in order for you to submit lawsuits in the Southern District of New York. So Buzbee has more problems. He has bit off more than what he can chew. But I'm going to keep you guys updated as promised. Leave your comment below. Let me know what's your take. Would you like to see Buzbee be fined and sanctioned? Or do you think the court should let him off? They're not going to do that though. The mere fact that they denied the pro ac vice and the court is telling him that he needs to submit a letter explaining himself and how he plans to remedy the situation, that in itself is saying, like hell, you will never be able to practice in this courtroom for a long time, and you need to explain yourself, which means that the letter that he submits, they're going to use that to determine what sanction and fees is applied to Buzbee. But as I said, I'm going to keep you guys posted. Leave a comment below. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
This is the rhythm of the